Hello everybody, I'm Kat, and I read books this month. I apologize if I sound a little congested. I came down with another cold, again. In the month of September, I read a total of 3 books. The very first book I read in September was Geek Arella by Ashley Poston. This is a contemporary YA retelling of Cinderella. It follows this girl named Elle, who is this huge fangirl of this show called Starfield, and Starfield is about to get a movie reboot, but they cast this guy called Darian Freeman as the male lead in this movie, and Elle is not very happy with this casting. Then we have Darian Freeman, who is so excited to be playing the male lead in this reboot of Starfield because he was a fan of it when he was younger, but he realizes that the fandom is not a fan of his casting. So to deal with this, he ends up texting this number that he gets his hands on, and that number turns out to be Elle. So they text back and forth without realizing that they're texting each other. This book is really adorable, and it's literally Cinderella in a contemporary setting. I'm not even joking. It's so sweet. It's super adorable. It's one of my all-time favorite contemporaries that I read this year, and I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars. Next, I read This Savage Song by Victoria Schwab. This book takes place in this world where monsters are created by acts of violence, and there are 3 different types of monsters that can be formed. We follow Kate Harker, who's the daughter of the leader of one half of this city, and she wants to be ruthless and monstrous, basically wants to be a monster. And then we have August, who is the son of the leader of the other half of the city, and he wants nothing more than to be human. I really loved this book. It really surprised me how much I loved it because I've just heard kind of mixed things about this book, but I really loved it, and I'm really glad that it surprised me. The first half of the book is a little slow, but the second half really speeds up. It was kind of dragging for me, and then once I started reading it, it picked up speed and I couldn't put it down at all. It was fantastic. I read the second half of the book while listening to the Stranger Things score. I highly recommend the Stranger Things score if you need some music to read to. But I listened to that while reading it, and it was the perfect mix because the music really fit in with what was happening in the story at the time. I really loved the characters in this book, especially August. He is my favorite character in this book, hands down. I was a little confused with some of August's family's names. I really got confused because they kept throwing around names and I couldn't put a finger on who was who. But otherwise, I really loved this book, and I would totally recommend it for you if you're in the mood for it. Honestly, the real reason I picked up this book was because in the middle of Booktubeathon, this book kept calling out to me while sitting on my shelf, but it was in the middle of Booktubeathon and I really wanted to complete the reading challenges, so I told myself that once Booktubeathon was over, I would pick it up, and that's exactly what I did, and I'm so glad I picked it up, and I'm really excited to read the sequel. And the very last book that I literally just finished today was They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. This book follows 2 boys who find out that they're going to be dying that day, and so they decide to go on this app called Last Friend to meet each other and basically spend their last day together, and they end up falling in love, and it's really adorable and really sweet. Like I said, I literally just finished it this morning. I loved it a lot. I feel like it was a little insta-lovey, but to be fair, they literally fell in love in a day. Of course it's going to be insta-lovey, but I really liked how the relationship kind of started off slow. I didn't really cry while reading this book. I think I teared up once, but like I always say, I'm pretty heartless. I never cry in books. So the fact that it made me tear up is always good. I ended up giving this book 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it, and I'm really excited to read Adam Silvera's other books. Now, time for my October TBR. I can't believe it's already October. I'm so excited for October because Stranger Things season 2. I'm just so excited for the show. The first book I want to get to in October is More Happy Than Not by Adam Silvera. Can you sense a theme here? I don't know a whole lot about this book except that it's about this guy who finds out about this procedure that can alter your memory. I don't really want to know a whole lot about it going into it. I actually just started this morning. I'm 20 pages into it, and I'm really enjoying it so far. It's pretty funny. Hopefully I will finish it this month because I just started reading it. The next book I want to read, I'm sure a lot of you want to read or have already read because it's one of the most anticipated releases of this year, and that is Warcross by Marie Lu. I'm really excited to read this book. I have not read any of Marie Lu's other writing. This will be the very first Marie Lu book I ever read. I don't know a whole lot about this book either, except that it takes place in a virtual reality game called Warcross. And the last book that I want to try to get to in October, it's okay if I don't get to it, but I'd like to try, and that is Our Dark Duet by Victoria Schwab. This is the sequel to The Savage Song. I loved The Savage Song so much, and I've just heard that this book is fantastic and is even better than The Savage Song, so I'm really excited to read it. Alright, and that is it for this wrap up and TBR. Let me know down below some of the books that you read in September and some of the books you want to get to in October, because I would love to know. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I post videos every Thursday, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Wow, that was fast.